I'll get to you in a minute. Get out of my way. It's George. Morgan. Alright, I'll admit you in a minute. Morgan Stewart, Samuel Call, and Melissa. Samuel Call. Oh, so far so good. Another one. Oops. Preston. Yep, good. Another one. Yep. Hmm. Morning, everyone. I know it's 9 o'clock, but since it's the first day, I just want to give people a couple more minutes to join, and then we'll get started talking. Okay, for those of you who just joined, I'm just giving everyone, since it's the first day, a couple extra minutes to join in. We'll probably get started in just about a minute. All right, let's go ahead and get started. So, my name, as you can probably see from the screen, is Dr. McKibben, or you can also call me Professor McKibben. Either one is just fine. And I want to welcome you all to Psychology 245, Statistics for the Behavioral Sciences. I know this isn't everyone's favorite class, but I'm really looking forward to the journey with you, and I'm really looking forward to hopefully giving you a positive experience with statistics. So, with that said, I'm just going to tell you a little bit more about myself. We're not going to do a roll call today, at least not per se. Let's see if we have some time at the end of the session. We might do something along those lines. A more interesting roll call, not a full attendance roll call. So, who am I? Okay, so my background is actually in clinical psychology, and I hold my PhD from Ohio University. So if any of you are interested in clinical psychology, if that's where you think you're heading, please feel free to chat with me, and we'll talk about how you can chat with me coming up. So after I got my doctorate, I kind of took a left turn, and I decided I was really interested in psychiatric epidemiology. So I did a postdoc in that at Hopkins, and that was really fun because whereas clinical psychology really looks at the individual and mental health concerns, psychiatric epidemiology looks at the community at large or the country at large. For example, a psychiatric epidemiological type question might be, how do we reduce suicidal attempts in the U.S. Army? And that was actually a study I participated in some time back. Okay. So my current research kind of focuses on trauma research, mental health service use, and I'm actually also doing something along the lines of malingering right now, which is when people fake bad after an accident or something like that. They might want to file a claim against a person in a motor vehicle accident, the one who they were in the accident with, and they might fake bad on some cognitive tests. And how do we determine whether someone's truly suffering or are just kind of making up symptoms? So that's kind of an interesting question. But regardless of what I'm studying, I always have had a focus on assessment, methodology, and statistics because I've always had this love for statistics and for research methods. And this actually gave me the opportunity to get involved in a wide variety of research, including autobiographical memory, cultic studies, hysteria neurotoxins, crazy stuff, right? I mean, cults, wow, yeah, but I did some research on them. Personality change after stroke, the suicide study I just told you about, that involved 1.5 million people in the U.S. Army. It was a really interesting study. Okay, so that's me, and I hope to get to know you better as we go forward. But before we do any of that, the next thing I'd like to do with you is to talk about our syllabus together. So I'm going to hopefully share the syllabus with you. Let's see if this works. There we go. The syllabus is also posted for you on D2L, and D2L is going to be one of the two big sites I want you to check a whole bunch. The other one being the YouTube channel that I've given you the link to, because that's where I'm going to post most of our lectures. So we'll get into that in just a second. Let's go down in order. Okay, so of course I'm not using my office this semester, but I did post it here just for funsies. Here are my office hours: Mondays and Fridays 12 to 2, Wednesdays 12 to 1. Now I'm doing it, of course, by appointment only, because it wouldn't really work out otherwise, given the nature of how we're doing Zoom sessions and being online this semester. So just go to this link right here, the Once Hub link, to schedule. It's super easy, I promise. And if by any chance you struggle with that, or if those office hours don't work for you and you need to speak with me, just email me. I'll be happy to respond to you. Okay. Sorry, I'm just moving my face out of the way so I can scroll down. Okay, the required text is by Salkind and Frey, and it's called Statistics for People Who Think They Hate Statistics, 7th edition. It's a nice text. I kind of like it. I'll be honest with you, it's my first time using this particular text. I changed in part because the text I used in the past went to a completely online version, and I found that while some people didn't mind it, some students really did, and they didn't appreciate that. So this is our text, and I think it's a good one. I think you're going to enjoy it. Here are some places where you can actually obtain the text. Sorry, here we go. Couple online locations that you can get the text from, or it's available through the Westchester University bookstore. Okay, and those, of course, are not the only locations. Those are just a few I came up with for you. You are going to want a simple scientific calculator for this course. That's the one other thing that you really need. This is not a fancy TI blah blah calculator. It's just something that you can pick up for usually around 10 bucks, maybe less even. And the only things you need are addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, squares, and square roots. Okay, don't forget the square root sign. That is an important one. You're going to want that one. Okay, so those are the only things that you really need on this calculator. So you don't need any fancy things beyond that. Okay. Here are some useful websites for you. The last one here, I like them all, of course, because I posted them all, right? So I think they're all good websites, but the last one is really cool, but it does cost about $13 a semester. But it can be a really helpful guide. So yeah, if it's your thing, please feel free to check it out. And you can also just try it for a month. That's cheaper, and decide if you like it, and then come back for more. Okay. So this course is an introduction to the fundamentals of statistics with an emphasis on the use of statistics in the behavioral sciences. One of my favorite definitions of statistics, and there are many, is right here. Statistics is the science of learning from data and of measuring, controlling, and communicating uncertainty. I love that word uncertainty, because that's what we're going to be studying for a semester together. Uncertainty, probability. Okay, and it thereby provides the navigation essential for controlling the course of scientific and societal advances. Okay, dual emphasis will be on the development of conceptual understanding and real-world application. So you're going to spend some time in the course applying the statistical principles to real-life situations. You're going to learn how to perform a variety of statistical procedures, and the particular statistical procedure is dependent upon the nature of the data and type of research design being employed. What do I mean by that? I mean that if I gave you a situation, you should be able to tell me by the end of this course what statistic you would use. Okay, so I'm not going to have you memorize any statistical formulas because they're readily available. There's no reason for that. But instead, we're going to emphasize the logical underpinnings and rationale behind the formulas, as well as on appropriately applying them. So finally, a portion of your experience will involve the use of a major statistical analysis program called SPSS. Okay. And you're going to learn how data is entered, how to select an appropriate analysis, and how to interpret the outcome of an SPSS analysis. Now, so I mentioned a piece of software. You might be wondering, oh no, do I have to buy this too? The answer is no. I'm going to show you how you can access it on the RAM cloud. It is available through the RAM cloud. And later on, like I said, I'll show you how you can access it using that portal. Okay, so as long as you're a member of Westchester University, and I think you all are, you have access to this. Okay, any issues, of course, we'll discuss as we go forward. This is a generic, oh, that was weird. Okay, this is a generic COVID-19 statement. And you're going to see it, I think, for all of your syllabi, for all of your classes, so I'm going to let you look at that on your own. But it's, of course, the reason why COVID-19 is the reason why we're doing all of this online Zoom stuff. Okay. I'm not going to go through the learning objectives and general education goals with you. I think you can read through that on your own, but you will see that I matched every objective that we have in here with a different assessment tool, and we will talk about those assessment tools. Okay. So let's go to the course format. This is what I want to emphasize here. The content portion of this course takes the form of pre-recorded lectures that will be prepared and uploaded to YouTube. And all videos can be found at my YouTube channel. Now, so they're not all there yet. I'm going to continue posting them for you. You'll see them appear as we go throughout the semester. There is one already posted there. And if you have any troubles getting to the lectures, please do let me know. Okay, so what I'm saying now is that the course is going to be primarily taught using a flipped classroom style. So you review the lectures on your own on YouTube, and then come into the class with any questions that you might have regarding the material. Now that means that a lot of these classes are going to be optional, because if you have no questions regarding the material, you may not have to come to class. Now, I do say that your active participation in class is essential to the learning process, and you're encouraged to pose questions at any time during class. And you're going to have to excuse me. I'm going to have to get used to this chat feature, because that's how we're going to do it primarily. I'll try to keep checking in there so that if you have a question, you know, I'll see it on chat, and then we can talk. Okay. So, occasionally you may be asked to work in small groups during class. I'll break you out into little Zoom groups. And you're going to notice as we get further on into syllabus that there's a Zoom class schedule guide, and that classes are either printed in black or red. So while I would encourage you to attend all classes, especially if you have questions, the ones printed in red are the most critical to attend. Okay. Please note, all classes will be recorded and posted to YouTube for the benefit of all class members. If for any reason you're uncomfortable with that, that gives you dis-ease, anything like that, please contact me. Let's talk it through. Let's find a way to make it more comfortable for you. And again, like for example, I already know that a couple students couldn't make our session today. They might want to hear about what I'm sharing about the syllabus. So wouldn't it be nice for them to be able to do that? Okay, that's my reason for doing it. Okay, all right. And similarly with the question ones, with when we're doing questions in class, you know, students might have the same question that you do. And again, that's kind of a nice way of sharing that. So keep in mind that obtaining any announcements, changes, and assignments, class notes is your responsibility, and everything gets posted on the D2L website, and that's the D2L website. If you haven't used D2L before, and if you need any help getting onto it, getting set, please do let me know. Same for YouTube, happy to help you with that too. Okay, and late assignments will generally not be accepted except for documentable university sanctioned event or emergencies. Okay. There will be 3 online exams during the semester. There are the dates. And there's also a comprehensive final exam on this date. Okay. All exams are to be done individually. And that's where the basic calculators come in. You're going to want to use those, okay? I don't want you using phones, iPads, all that kind of stuff, those kind of calculators during the exam. So please do not do that. Please stick with your basic calculator. Okay, homework. There are two main categories of homework. That should not say my stat lab. I apologize. That's a carryover from an old, so I'll repost this after I get rid of that. It's just a conceptual computational assignment and SPSS lab assignments. And they're both designed to increase your conceptual understanding of the material in the course and to learn to apply these techniques to real-world applications. So they're all individual assignments. They're all going to be off of D2L. There's only one assignment, which is the first assignment, which you're going to have to print out, or it'll be in Word. So if you want to just do it in Word and type everything, you can do that. I've had students do that in the past. Or you can print it out, write on it, take pictures of it, and re-upload it. Everything else aside from that first assignment will be something that you can just complete on D2L. So it'll be pretty easy. But for that first one, depending on how you choose to complete it, and we'll talk about that in just a moment, you may have to print it out, take pictures, upload it, that sort of thing, okay? So you get 100 points for the conceptual assignments, or up to 100 points, depending on how well you perform, and up to 50 points for the SPSS lab assignments. Now, you will be given the opportunity to earn additional bonus points in each category throughout the semester. Okay. So the first assignment, I'll just share this with you now, is an arithmetic review. Basically, if you can get through this arithmetic review, you're pretty much set for the course. So I use it as a review. I use it as a way to kind of help you guys gauge where you're at. Now, the good news about this review is I don't really look at how well you perform. I'm only looking that you're completing it and giving it your full effort. So please do complete it, give it your full effort. I will make that available online later today, and we'll talk about the due date later on. And if you have any questions, you can always let me know. Quizzes will be made available to you throughout the course. You will learn about these by reviewing the lectures. The quizzes are short, 1 to 2 questions, and will assess your understanding of the topics discussed in class. Just like everything else, they can't be made up unless it's a documentable reason, okay? But I am going to drop the lowest quiz score, so you have that. And the quizzes will be worth 50 points. So taken all together, you have your conceptual computational assignments, 100 points, SPSS, 50 points, quizzes, 50 points, in-class exams, 3 of them, worth 100 apiece, that's 300 points, and your final exam is worth 200 points. So, once the lowest in-class exam or half the final, if it's the lowest is dropped, there will be a total of 600 points possible. And that's what you're trying to do in this course, is get as many points as you can, and that will correspond to the following grades. Okay, and this pretty much works out to be the standard cutoffs in terms of 90% and 80% and all that good stuff. I just did it in terms of points. So that's probably all the really good stuff you wanted to hear about. Now let's talk just a little bit about certain policies that may be different for this course. I already shared with you about D2L being a primary method of me communicating with you guys, so please check that frequently. Please check your email frequently too. Sometimes I will send something over email, so please check your Westchester University email frequently as well. So the electronic mail policy or email policy, I mainly want to let you know here, of course, address me professionally. You're all going to do that. I'm not worried about it. But the responses, I regularly check and reply to my WCU emails on weekdays from 8 a.m. to 7 p.m. So if you send an email during this time period, I'll typically reply within 24 hours, Monday to Friday. So what does this mean? If you send an email during the evening after 7, I'll give you a response the following weekday. If you send an email over the weekend, you can expect a response the following Monday. Now, sometimes I am available after 7 and I'll check something and I will respond. I'm just not guaranteeing it. Okay. These are like the guaranteed hours. Okay. Let's go down to additional information and policies. And again, while class attendance is not required for this class, it is strongly encouraged. I think success and attendance are highly correlated or highly related, especially the red ones, okay? The red ones are going to be when we're actually doing some exercises or learning about SPSS and those sort of things, so you're going to want to attend the red ones, okay? Bum, bum, bum. I don't want to, none of that's really what stuff I need to talk about. These are all, so I've worked with students with a number of different disabilities in the past. If you have a disability that requires accommodations, please let me know ASAP. You can do that by coming to an office hour. You can email me. There's lots of different options, but please do let me know as soon as possible. The more I know, the more I can help. Okay. There's more stuff. This is all good stuff, but I don't want to take up class time going through it. So class cancellation, I will let you know if a class needs to be canceled. I'm hoping that doesn't happen, but you never know. It is 2020 after all. Okay, so here's some stuff about where you can get academic help on campus. There's also, if you go to the psychology department page, they actually put together a really nice, it's a big button on the page that you can press, and then it gives you links to all sorts of other places where you can seek out help, okay? You might want to form a study group. You might want to, please take advantage of me. I'm here. I'm happy to answer questions for you. There's the Learning Assistance and Resource Center. We already talked about the Office of Services for Students with Disabilities. There's all kinds of different places where you can go for help, including the Counseling Center and the Resource Pantry if your needs are along those lines. Okay, so lots of good options here. Okay, so now I want to just there we go, nice. So this is your big guide to the class, and it's in all your syllabi. That's posted on G2L under syllabi. So let's look at how this document is structured, and then we'll just go through the first couple so you understand it, and then I'll leave the rest to you. Okay. All right. So first day, what's your lecture that you're going to view? It's Samples and Populations, goes along with the reading of chapter 1. So if you don't have the book yet, don't panic. You'll be okay. Get the book when you can, as soon as possible, but you know, within reason, of course. And just worry about viewing the lecture. Okay, sorry, give me 1 second. So just worry about viewing the lecture for today. And you have today, you have tomorrow to view it. It's, was it 35 or 36 minutes long? It's one of those two. I'll just say 36 minutes to be safe. So it's not terribly, terribly long. And I'm going to get that arithmetic review. That's your assignment coming up. That's due next Monday. I'm going to get it to posted by the end of today. And what are we discussing during today's Zoom meeting? Welcome syllabus, introduction to the course. Okay, so on the left side is always the lecture you're to view. In the middle is any assignment coming up, and on the right side is what we're actually doing in class. So you'll notice there's a sample and population lecture that you're going to view, like I said, either today or tomorrow. And then on Wednesday, when we come back to class, we're going to have open questions about that. You don't have any questions, you don't necessarily have to come to class, okay? But you're not going to know unless you view that lecture in time. Also, the other reason why you want to view lectures is, remember, there's quizzes that I'm going to share with you in those lectures. So be sure to stay up with that, or if you really can't view the lecture, but you want to know if there's a quiz, check D2L. You can answer the quiz. The quizzes are all open book, and you still get your credit for that, okay? But best way, of course, is listen to the lecture. You'll be informed about the quiz, and then you can take the quiz. So I already gave you the hint for your first one that there is a quiz associated with that one, right? There's a quiz associated with lecture one, just telling you straight out, and you'll want to complete that by Tuesday night by 11:59 p.m. I've tried to make as many of my assignments due as possible, always do 11:59 p.m., just to give you that extra evening time to get it done. Okay, so that's how we're structuring things. So let's go through a few more just to make sure you got the hang of this, how this chart works. So then you come back on Wednesday. Let's say you had a couple questions, you got them resolved on Wednesday. Now it's time to view probability day 1 lecture. Okay, so you'll view that lecture, and then you notice on Friday it's actually a red day, because we're going to do, and it's actually a fun practice, so we're going to do some fun practice around probability, okay? And then on Friday, and this, of course, this time you have until Monday to finish the lecture. Actually, that's not entirely true. Let me take that back, because if there is a quiz associated with lecture 3, that would be due the next night. So it's always the next night when quizzes are due. Okay, so whatever day you see, and I'm not saying every day has a quiz, not every day does, so you can always check D2L as well. But if there is a quiz associated with a lecture, it's the next night that the quiz is due. Okay, so just make sure you knock these out in the order that they're coming your way. Okay, so let's just look ahead. A couple things I probably want to point out. Your first homework comes up. And you can see it's due by 9/14. Labor Day, no class. There's also one more day that there's no class. I want to point that out. This is a Monday 9/28. You see how it's in purple? Okay, that means no class, and it's because of a Jewish holiday that's called Yom Kippur, and so for that reason there is no class that day. Okay, you can see your first exam as posted in the syllabus is on Friday 10/2. Okay, and we'll flip through a little more. You can see one nice thing is that if everything goes according to plan, and as I've already shared, it's 2020, I don't know. But if everything goes according to plan, we should be finishing off all of the main material by your Thanksgiving break, so you just come back and we do some nice review together before the final. Okay, so that's how everything works. If you have a question at this point in time, can you please go to your chat if you can find it? I hope you can. It's for me, it's under more at the bottom of my screen, and the first option is chat. So I'm asking you to please go to your chat and type in any question you may have. And I'm only doing it that way. I would say undo your mic, but put your mic on. The only problem with doing that is my concern is everyone might start talking at once. If you can't find the chat and you have a burning question, just undo your mic and we'll hope for the best. Like put your mic on, we'll hope for the best. Otherwise, if you have No, okay, good. Thank you for your first question. So D2L says that there is a quiz 1 due on Tuesday. Yes, it's due Tuesday night by 11:59 p.m. So that's your first quiz based on your first lecture. So listen to your lecture either today or tomorrow. It's a 2-question quiz, multiple choice. If you listen to the lecture, you will be able to answer the quiz. Feel free to email me if you get stuck on the quiz, but that is what is due tomorrow night, our very first quiz. So thank you for the question. Anyone else? I'm going to give you time. Please feel free to type in any questions you may have. So first quiz due tomorrow night. First assignment, which is that arithmetic review, will be due next Monday, 8:31 by 11:59 p.m. And it's the only one where you have to upload your responses. Yeah, so we have another good question about ordering texts, right, and how soon they arrive. So yes, if you are going to be a few days behind, I would say that's fine. I think you'll still be fine. It's more important you have it once we start doing. I mean, I think it's a really good supplement to what I'm saying, especially if you're not. You know, sometimes people don't talk on the same wavelength. So if you're not understanding what I'm saying, it's a wonderful way to get that information. But yes, if you're getting it within a few days, within a week, I think you're still fine. So thanks for that question too. So just be patient and giving people a chance to type. They may have longer questions, and we'll see what we come up with. Okay. What I'll do is I'll give you another minute for now, and then I'm going to show you one other thing I wanted to show you, and then I'll come back to the chat at the end, okay? So take one more minute right now, or a few more moments, I'll say right now, and then I want to show you one other thing, and I promise to come back to the chat at the end. Okay, let's do that. So I'm going to minimize my chat right now so I can show you what I want to show you. You share this, share. Okay, so you don't have to take notes on this. This is just kind of a really gentle introduction to a couple of things about statistics that I want to share with you. Okay, so here we go. So once again, if you got on a little bit late, welcome to the class. And please feel free to check in with me if you have any questions regarding the syllabus or the schedule. So this is my only fancy slideshow, by the way, so please enjoy it. Okay, what do these things have in common? If you have a guess as to what we got, the flat earth, we got the Medusa, we got all that kind of stuff. Myths, yes, these are all myths. So thank you for that response. Yes, and so what I'd like to do, I have to click back on here, I think, is some myth busting around statistics. So we're going to start some sloppy statistics sleuthing. Told you, fancy for the first day. All right, so are statistics always needed to move science forward? So I'm going to tell you, no, they're not. So can anyone think of a counter example? And again, please post it in the chat if you can, of when statistics are not needed to move science forward. Like and you might want to think like in history, what may have happened that we discovered that maybe there was, you pretty sure no statistics were ever done about it. And I'll open up my chat window, see if anyone has a thought. If you don't, that's fine. Okay, I'm going to tell you. So I'm going to give you an example anyway. Thomas Edison, right? Edison had it easy. It doesn't take statistics to see that a light has come on. That quote was given by Dr. Robert Hooke, who is a statistician and author. Give you another example. How about 19th century physicians using anesthesia for the first time to conduct surgeries? I think they saw immediately, without having to do any statistics, wow, anesthesia really helps. Okay. 20th century physicians were able to see that the first antibiotics cured previously fatal infections. Okay, so when do we need statistics? If not in these situations, then when? It's when we're trying to make sound decisions using a large number of cases. So for example, birth control pills were tested on hundreds before distributing to the public. Millions had to use them for several years to show that some women would develop heart attacks and strokes. Then it took millions more years later to realize that the risk factors for heart attacks and strokes in women were those who were over 35 who were smokers. You see, it's when you're trying to make decisions about millions at a time or thousands at a time. That's when you need statistics, okay? So, you know, for example, we're trying like mad to develop a vaccine around COVID-19, and some people are worried, probably some statisticians are worried, because we know that it takes time to really test these things. It takes time to be sure that they're not going to have any side effects. So we'll see what happens, but that's where statistics are used. Okay, next one. I have to click on this again. Okay, next one. Statistics are only used by researchers. Okay, this is also false. Can you think of an example of statistics? Could be anywhere. I know you've seen them out there that are not necessarily just used by researchers. Okay, think about it for a moment. If you have any answers, please go to the chat. Need some hints? Think about watching TV. You ever see statistics on TV? What are they generally trying to convey? Like, who uses them on television? Any thoughts? Oh, I think we have a thought. Let's see. Or a question, we'll see. Yeah, sure. Pharmaceutical companies, game shows, absolutely, right on target there. And pharmaceutical companies, I'll just take that as an example because that's an easy one, where they talk about, improvements that can be made if you take this new drug, all better at all. I'm just making up a name. And they use a lot of statistics. So marketing uses a lot of statistics. Also, sports uses a lot of statistics, right? So there is statistics everywhere that you go. And even if you plan never to do research again after you leave college, even if you plan to have a career, let's say that's solely clinically based, what if you come in with someone with kind of a tricky diagnosis, a tricky disorder, and you want to know, look, what can I do? What therapy is best for this kind of disorder? You might go to the literature, right, to try and find out the current literature, and you might encounter some statistics. In fact, I think you will. So it really is, statistics are really ubiquitous. They really appear everywhere. Okay, so there's more to this, but those are the main ones I really wanted to show you. What I'm going to do is say thank you for coming today. This has been a pleasure. And if you want to take off, take off. If you want to stick around, please stick around to ask any questions, anything that you'd like, and I'm happy to answer those for you. If you want to introduce yourself, please feel free to stick around as well. Other than that, have a wonderful rest of your first day, and I look forward to potentially seeing you on Wednesday and at least hopefully seeing you on Friday. Have a wonderful day, guys. Okay, yeah, so there's a question about the website that was $13, that lairdstatistics.com. What it does, I wish I could like show you a sample because I know you don't want to pay money without knowing if it's any good. What it will do is, like, let's say we're learning about the ANOVA statistic, which is something we're going to learn about much later in class. What it will do is it kind of guides you from beginning to end about how to run an ANOVA. So some people find that helpful. It's particularly helpful with the SPSS side of things. And it does have some nice like statements about what assumptions we make, those sort of things. So I don't know what to say. It's a little bit tough for me. I don't know if to say if it's like definitely going to be helpful for you or not. But That's its purpose, okay? It basically will guide you through doing a stat from beginning to end, okay? Particularly in SPSS. Hope that helps. If you have any other questions, please feel free to post them. When it's up, oh, good question. Thank you. When it's uploaded, where in D2L would the arithmetic review be located? I'm going to try and post it to the assignment location. If it's not there, if it doesn't work out to get posted there, and I think it will, but if it doesn't, look under content, okay? Maybe I'll post it in both places for you guys just to make life easy. So content or assignment location. Okay, I'm just hanging out. If there's any other questions, please feel free to check in with me. And there's only 4 of us left, including myself. So if you have a question and you prefer to unmute your mic, please feel free to do that. Okay. Haley, it's just you and me now. If you have any other questions, please feel free to unmute your mic, or if you just want to chat with me. Oh, okay. Sounds good. Have a great one, Haley. I'll talk to you later. Bye.